Hello. To introduce myself, my name is Wendy. I'm a licensed therapist and EMDR certified, and this is the yoga hour for my 200-hour yoga teacher certification. So, as a disclaimer, this is not a therapy session. I am not your therapist. We will be using some therapeutic interventions and taking snippets of different therapeutic modalities to incorporate into the yoga practice, one of which being EMDR. EMDR stands for Eye Movement Desensitization and Reprocessing. It is primarily used as a trauma therapy, and the biggest component of it is bilateral stimulation or bilateral movement, which is basically movement back and forth. Traditional EMDR therapy is lights back and forth, buzzies, sounds. So that bilateral movement is really a magical piece and ties in very strongly with yoga. So the bilateral movement affects the amygdala, which is like the bridge between our logical brain and our emotional brain. When we are activated by trauma, stress, panic attacks, OCD, any kind of, or even just day-to-day activation, we typically tend to be more in our emotional brain, and bilateral stimulation will help to turn the volume down on our emotional brain so that we can turn the volume up on our logical brain. Now, like I said, we are not doing trauma therapy in this yoga session. We're just using components of a trauma therapy intervention to help learn to regulate, de-stress, and deactivate. We will also be using some DBT skills. DBT stands for dialectical behavioral therapy, and more specifically TIP skills. So TIPP, which stands for temperature, increased intense exercise, progressive muscle relaxation, and paced breathing. So these are 4 major tools that are used to really shift your nervous system into a more regulated state. So once again, by watching this video and participating, you are not doing DBT, but you are learning some DBT skills and implementing them. So, before we begin, you will need a piece of paper and some kind of writing utensil if you would like to participate in the beginning part. So if you do not have that, take a moment to pause and grab that if you choose. Once you have your paper and pen or pencil or colored pencil or Sharpie or marker, crayon, whatever, we are going to take our piece of paper and we are going to fold it in half. Doesn't matter which way, because we're going to fold it again the other way to kind of make it into a 4-parted piece of paper. So we fold it in half once. We're going to fold it in half again. And you are going to unfold it so that your piece of paper has 4 sections. So I'll walk you through it before we do the activity, because there's a few parts to it. We're first going to identify 3 things. 1 is something that you wish to let go of. This could be a habit. This could be a concept. This could be a person. Letting go of, let's say, sugar or some kind of crutch like cigarettes or Diet Coke. It could be letting go of a concept like perfectionism or expectations. Letting go of a relationship. Letting go of pressure on yourself, letting go of sadness or fear. This is a very abstract concept, so literally anything that you want to focus the intention of letting go around. Next, we are going to identify what the negative belief is, or the theme, or the fear underneath whatever it is that we're letting go. So for example, if we are letting go of other people's opinions of us, right? Then the fear underneath that could be a fear of being unlovable. If we're letting go of perfectionism, it could be a fear of not being good enough. If we're letting go of a habit like nicotine or caffeine or sugar or whatever it is, chocolate, I don't know, I love chocolate. I don't support letting go of chocolate unless you're allergic, then you probably shouldn't eat chocolate, but we do love chocolate. But whatever it is, whatever you're letting go of, if it's a habit, if it's something that's filling a void, if it's a vice, if it's a crutch, Maybe the theme or the negative belief or fear is that I can't do it, or I need this, or I can't function without this, right? So those are the first two parts, something we're letting go of, and the negative belief, theme, or fear underneath that. And then the third piece that we're going to come up with is a resilient statement or an affirmation that ties into this. So it can be the reverse of it, right? So let's say we're letting go of perfectionism. The negative belief is I'm not good enough. Our affirmative statement or resilient belief could be I am enough, right? If we're letting go of a person, I can't do this without them. I'm empty without them. Maybe the resilient belief is I am enough. That seems to be a theme coming up this morning. If we're letting go of expectations and the fear is people are going to let me down, the resilient belief could be I don't need to depend on other people to be okay. Everything will be okay. It can even just be a blanket statement of everything will be okay. And even if it isn't, I will be okay. So let's start with what we're letting go of. Take a moment, and if you're unsure, just sit with yourself. Take a deep breath in through your nose and notice where the activation is showing up in your body. And as you exhale, see if there's relief or tension in other parts of your body. And just sit for a moment and see what it is that's coming up that you want to let go of. And if you already have it, you can go ahead and write it down in the top left corner of your first square. Really doesn't matter where we're going to write it because we're going to flip the page over anyway. I'm still taking a moment to decide what I'm letting go of today because there's a lot of things coming up for me. I'm going to go with letting go of the need for other people's approval / attention. I love attention, but sometimes it can become a need, or if I'm not getting that attention, I feel like I'm not enough. So I am letting go of the need for attention and other people's approval. Underneath that, the negative belief, theme, or fear is I'm not enough. That seems to be what's coming up for me. And same thing if you want to take a moment to see what fits. Take a deep breath in through your nose into your belly. Notice where you're feeling the activation. Mine's coming up in my shoulders. And as you exhale, do you feel tension or relief anywhere else? Feeling activation in my gut and in my shoulders. And that seems to be an appropriate negative belief for this thought of what I'm letting go of. So next to your negative belief or fear or theme, I want you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 of how strong that activation is. With 10 out of 10 being the absolute worst, I am overwhelmed and distraught with this. 0 out of 10 being like, not at all, not bothered by it at all. Right now I'm going to say my activation's probably at a 6 out of 10. So we're just writing this like 3 lines. What we're letting go of, the negative belief, and then next our resilient belief or affirmation. So like I said, it could just be the opposite of that, going from I'm not enough to I am enough. But sit with it and see if there's a different statement that resonates. It doesn't necessarily have to be the opposite of it. It could just be a general statement of worthiness, self-love. It could just be a word that you want to set your intentions towards, but something that you want to be true, you want to fully believe and connect with, but there might not be a full connection there. Something we logically know to be true, but emotionally might not feel true. So same thing, take a breath in through your nose, into your belly, and exhale through your mouth. see what comes up. I think for me, instead of I am enough, it's I am lovable. And so this one we're going to rate on a scale of 1 to 7. With 7 being, yes, emotionally and logically I know this is true, and 1 being, I wish it were true, but it doesn't feel true at all. And I'm going to rate this 4.5. I don't know why. That just feels like it fits. Okay. And it could be a word. It could be connection. It could be hope. It could be courage. It could be vulnerability, authenticity. It doesn't have to be a statement. It can be literally anything that feels right. So the 2 that we're going to focus on are the last 2 lines, our negative belief and our resilient belief. I'm not enough and I am lovable. When you're ready, have those down. I want you to flip your page over so you've got a blank page. And in the first corner, so top left, you are going to write down that rating that you had out of 10. So mine is a 6 out of 10. Just put that in the corner. And take a moment here, and you can either expand on that thought. What does it look like to, it's like when you're cooking macaroni and cheese, you have to look at the box 1,000 times. I just wrote this, I still need to look at it again. So if you're looking at I am not enough, or if you want to expand on that, what you're letting go of, in this top square, or rectangle technically, you are going to free write or draw this concept for you. What it looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like. You can even just kind of free write, or just write, decorate it. There's no wrong way to do it. But put it on paper in this first section of our paper, and just take a few moments to do so. If you need more time on this first section, feel free to pause, and then unpause when you're ready to continue. Okay, now once you've gotten your drawing or your writing in this first section, we are going to scribble it out. It can be a clean back and forth, up, down. It can be a messy scribble. There's no right or wrong way to scribble it out, but we're using some bilateral movement here to reprocess this. So go for it. Go ham. Okay, we're going to repeat this 2 more times. So, ideally, as we continue to write or draw and scribble it out, the intensity should decrease with each square. So the first 3 squares, we are going to repeat this. We already done it once. Now let's do it 2 more times. pen stopped working, but I'm still writing and still scribbling. So the words don't have to be on the paper for this to be effective. Whenever you're ready, same thing, we're going to scribble out what you've written or drawn. Okay, one more time. We are going to write what's come up and scribble. Oh, before I move on to the next one, rate if that 0 to 10 has changed. So mine went from a 6 out of a 10, and currently I'm probably at a 3 out of 10. I got cut in half pretty nicely. So next one, same thing. Let's continue. Okay, and whenever you're ready, scribble it out. Now rate 0 out of 10 how big the distress is. Mine's gone down to like a 1.5 out of 10. If your activation level is still pretty high, feel free to pause, and you can do this one more time. 2 more times if you need to. But let's try to get that activation level. It doesn't have to go down to a 0 to 2, but as long as there's some movement, that's the goal. So if you need to pause and do it 1 or 2 more times, go ahead. Otherwise, we'll move on to our last square, where we are going to look at our resilient belief. Mine was I am lovable, 4.5 out of 7. Write that in the corner, the score, and think, does that still fit? Does that still feel like an appropriate affirmative belief, or is there something else that fits better? And I want you to write or draw the differences, the changes that happened in those first 3 squares, and kind of tie it into that resilient belief. Even if it was like, hey, I noticed my scribbles got less chaotic with each time. I noticed that there were some resilient thoughts that popped up. I want you to just write those down and reflect on it. This last one, we're not going to scribble it out. First, we are going to just take a second and read it, look at it, or even repeat our affirmation that we came up with. We're going to take a deep breath in through our nose into our belly. Exhale through our mouths. And then we're going to tap it in. So either hands on your knees, arms crossed, hands on your shoulders, whatever's comfortable for you. And we are going to breathe in as we slowly tap. And we're going to tap in all the good feelings that have come up with this thought of a resilient belief or affirmation. Notice if you get any warm fuzzies in your body and really breathe into that. And we're just going to tap it in. Ready? Release your hands. And now, see if that number of 1 out of 7 of how true that feels has gone up. Mine has gone up to a 6 out of 7. So, just to be vulnerable and share what came up for me, my first square I wrote something along the lines, I'm reading through the scribbles, something along the lines of I feel dependent on others' affections and feel empty when I don't get it sometimes. I'm not enough. When other people are mad at me, it makes me feel shame and I jump to a dark place. And that was a 6 out of 10 activation. The next two squares, I have invisible ink here because my pen stopped working, but the thoughts that came up were along the lines of I am loved, I am good enough. If I'm upset with someone else, it doesn't take away from their worth. And it's kind of like, I thought of when there's like, you run into 10 people, right? And 9 people are like, bro, your shirt is awesome. I'm like, thank you. And then one person's like, why are you wearing that shirt? It's so easy to focus on that one person when really you got like a 90% satisfaction rate with your awesome shirt. And it's interesting how our brains will focus on that. And what came up for me is that I do have a lot of people who love me, and I love me, and I am enough, and I am lovable. And sometimes people are going to be upset at you or hurt your feelings or be mean to you, or maybe you'll interpret it that way, but it doesn't take away from your worth. And that's what came up for me. And so, in my resilient belief in what changed, I noticed my scribbles were less chaotic, and there were more of those resilient pieces that came up throughout the process. So this is a really helpful tool that you can use if there's something that's coming up for you that you feel stuck on or really activated by. Feel free to use this anytime. We will revisit this at the end of our practice, so keep it handy. We are going to start our practice in a seated position, so if your legs are falling asleep and you need to switch their position, just get into a comfortable seated position of any kind. And we are going to start with a little bit of bilateral movement in our practice. So first, we're just going to move our left ear to our left shoulder and move it to our right shoulder. And feel free to just get some movement in your spine. And you can wiggle your shoulders around to whatever feels comfortable. You can move your shoulders up. There's no like right or wrong way to move. You can just sway back and forth, but we're just gonna move side to side, either with your whole spine or just your head, whatever feels comfortable for you. And don't forget to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now we're going to do some neck rolls. So start bringing your chin to your chest. Rotate your left ear to your left shoulder. Rotate your neck back. Right ear to right shoulder. Back to your chest. One more time in that direction at whatever pace feels comfortable. And then we're going to switch directions. Go back to the right. One more rotation at whatever pace feels comfortable until we get our chin back to our chest. Lift our head, pull our shoulders back. We are going to rotate our shoulders now. So bring your shoulders forward, up towards your ears. Hold them on your back. Ooh, feel the nice crack there. Do one more rotation until you bring your shoulders back down. Now we're going to switch directions. Now shoulders back, up and forward. And just really feel that tension being rolled out of your shoulders. Ooh. Now if you're feeling adventurous, see if you can do them in 2 directions at the same time. So right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. And see if you can rotate them going in opposite directions. And then switch directions. Kind of like patting your tummy and rubbing your head. No, but you get the concept. Patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time. Perfect. If you want to shake that out however you want. It's a good start to our stretch. Now we're going to do some progressive muscle relaxation. So we're going to start by inhaling as we tense a part of our body, and exhaling, release. This is one of our tip skills. We're going to start with our hands. So flex your hands on a deep inhale through your nose. Clench, clench, clench. And as you exhale, release. We're gonna work our way up our arms now. So now we're gonna clench our forearms. Inhale through your nose, and as you exhale, release. Inhale, we're gonna flex our biceps. Exhale, release. Next, our neck and shoulders. Really tense it up on that inhale. Exhale, release. Next, our face. This is my favorite. Inhale through your nose. Clench every muscle in your face. Exhale. Exhale through your mouth. Now we're going to go to our chest. Inhale, flex your chest. Exhale, release. Next, your core and your pelvis. Inhale, engage. Engage. Exhale, release. Next, our glutes and our thighs. We're going to inhale and we're going to flex. Exhale, release. Almost done. Last inhale. Now flex our calves. And exhale, release. Next, your feet. If we need to move around to really get that flex, feel free. We're going to flex our feet on an inhale. Exhale, release. Last one, our entire body. So on your inhale through your nose, you're going to clench everything up. Tight, tight, tight. Exhale. Release your whole body. So this ties into yoga and it's a DBT skill where if there's any kind of tension in your body, it's really interesting how inhaling into the tension and then exhaling release, you actually let go of the tension. Just like any coping skill, not everything is a one size fits all. Paced breathing is not a favorite of mine because I feel like when I focus on my breathing, I feel like I can't breathe and I get scared, so not a favorite of mine. I know it's a big piece of yoga and like a major coping skill as a therapist. Personally, not my cup of tea, but it works for so many people. And I feel like when we get into yoga, then we are naturally inhaling and exhaling with our movements, so there's like multiple things happening at the same time, so that's easier for me to do instead of just focusing on our breath. But progressive muscle relaxation can be very helpful for releasing tension and noticing where the activation is in your body. So next we are going to shift into butterfly. So if you are able to connect your feet together, big toes touching, you need to move your butt out from underneath your sit bones, feel free. Bring your heels in as close as they are comfortable. Please do not move into anything that feels like it's too much or too uncomfortable. And we are going to hold our feet like we're holding a book that we could open. And we are going to gently flutter our knees. Float like a little butterfly. And breathe. Now you can stay in this position, or if you feel comfortable enough to shift into fire log, we are going to put one foot perpendicular, is that the right word? Horizontally in front of us. And we are going to stack our other leg on top. So my left foot is on top of my right knee, and my right knee is on top of my left foot. This is a really good hip opener, good prep for pigeon. And if this doesn't feel right, don't do it. If this does feel right, go for it. And in this, if you would like to walk your hands forward and stretch and fold, feel free. What we don't want to do is hunch into a fold. So walk your hands out as far as your back can stay flexed without rounding. And once you get that point where you feel your back starting to round, then fold forward. So if it looks like you're here and folding looks like this, that's where you're at. If you are able to walk your arms forward and get your elbows on the floor, that's where you're at. Hi, Ailey. Come sit over here. Come sit over here. Come. Ailey, this is my dog, Ailey. Ailey, sit, 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 sit. You may join our practice. Thank you, good girl. Okay. Now when you're ready, come back up. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, we got all the dogs joining us. We are going to switch legs. So So if your left leg was on top, we're gonna switch so that our right leg is on top. So once again, oh my gosh, you guys. We want our foot over our knee and our knee over our foot. You guys, get out of here. Illy Bubba, go, go, go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, isn't this just how yoga goes, right? There's always something or someone trying to distract us. Same thing with meditation. We just acknowledge it. Don't let it get in the way. Illy loves yoga. So if you notice, I have a little bit more tension on this side. I'm not as bendy. So if it feels comfortable to start walking your hands forward, and wherever you feel that rounding start to happen, that's where you want to stop hinging at the waist and just comfortably fold. And breathe. When you're ready, walk your hands back up. Okay. We are going to extend our right leg out to the side and bring our left foot inside our thigh. We are going to pivot our body so that we are facing our extended leg. Now lift your arms up, hinge at the waist, and reach towards your foot. Same thing, we want to fold forward as far as we can extend. We don't want to hunch over into the fold, but walk our hands forward as much as comfortable, and then gently fold into the stretch. Make sure that you're folding towards your knee for this stretch. Inhale, extend, and on your exhale, see if you can go a little bit further. Walk your hands back up. Now we are going to shift our body facing forward. And we're going to hinge sideways. So that helps to put your right hand on the outside of your left thigh and extend your left arm and then fold sideways towards your foot. If you don't reach it, that is okay. And you want to try to pull your top shoulder back. And if this feels comfortable and you have a grasp on the outside of your foot, feel free to bring your right arm out to grasp the other side. Remember to keep that top shoulder up and back. If you want, I like to wiggle in this pose a little bit. It just feels good. But if you are like right here, that's perfectly fine too. And on your next inhale, come back up. We're going to switch sides. So right foot into our left thigh, extend our left leg, foot arched or extended, flexed. We're going to pivot our waist and our body to face our left foot. Raise your arms and bend at the waist towards your left foot. Same thing. You are going to be bendier on one side, more so on one side than the other, and that's a-okay. So we want to extend a little bit and then fold forward to whatever's comfortable. If your hands are on your thigh and that's where you're at, that is okay. If you're able to clasp your hands behind your foot, that's also okay. If you need to bend your leg a little bit to get a comfortable fold, that's also okay. Should have mentioned that on the other side. And when you're ready, walk your hands back up. Shift your body facing forward. Left hand on the outside of our right thigh. Raise our right arm and hinge at the waist towards our left foot. As you can see, I'm a lot less flexible on this side, and that's okay. Remember to bring that shoulder up and back so you can really feel the stretch along your ribs. If this feels good, stay here. If you'd like to extend your left hand inside your foot and reach over, you can work towards that too. If you're able to grasp your hands around your foot, go for it. But do whatever feels comfortable for you today. And breathe. And when you're ready, come back up. We are going to make our way into hands and knees. So your hands should be underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And I just want to say, normally I do start my practice with sun salutations, but since we're doing a seated activity, the energetic flow just seems to make more sense to work our way up and then back down. So here, if you just want to like have some free movement in your back and wiggle your hips and really wiggle it out for a little bit first, maybe see if you can do some like S moves with your spine. Go for it. I like to wiggle a little bit before cat-cowing. So if you just want to sway, go for it. And whenever you feel comfortable and like you got all your wiggles out, we are going to do some cat-cow. So tops of your feet on the floor. When we go into cow, we are going to move our hips up, our belly down, shoulders back, and look up. And as you exhale, we're going to round our back like a Halloween cat. And just go at the pace of your own breath. Inhale, hips up and back, shoulders back, look up. And if you need to wiggle with this movement, go for it. Exhale, engage your core, round everything up like a Halloween cat. And just continue at the pace of your own breath and add any movements that feel comfortable. If you want to move in a circle, just make sure you do the same in the other direction. On your next exhale, come to a neutral spine. If you want to move your right knee just a little bit towards the center, go for it. We are going to extend our left leg straight out. Try and keep it parallel to the ground. And we're going to raise our opposite arm. So if your left leg is up, we're going to extend our right arm forward. Try to keep them parallel to the ground as best as you can and reach towards the opposite ends of the room. Try not to fold into it. Try to keep as much engagement as your core as possible. And on your exhale, we are going to bring our elbows past our knees and engage our core. And breathe. And extend our arm and leg. And just go at the pace of your own breath. 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. On your next extension, stay here or bend your back leg, reach back, grab the outside of your foot or inside of your foot, whoops, and see if you can kick up and back. Good job. And when you're ready, release. We're going to switch sides. You guys are doing great. So we're going to move our left knee a little bit closer to center. Going to extend our right leg and our left arm. Really extend. Try to maintain your body as parallel to the ground as possible. And we're going to exhale. Bring our knees and our elbows in. Inhale, extend. 3 more times. Really engage your core on this last one. Extend, stay here, or bend your back leg, reach back, kick up and back. Excellent. And release. We are going to go into a supported side plank. So keep your left hand and your left knee on the ground, top of your left foot on the ground. We are going to stack our hips, straighten our right leg, the inside of your foot on the ground, and bring your right arm up and over your ear towards the front of the room. Really make sure that your shoulders and hips are stacked. You don't want to be too far back or too far forward. Stay here or lift that top leg. Stay here or Bend that top leg, grab the outside of your foot, and kick up and back. Your bottom foot may go out to the side to support you for this back bend. That is okay. And release. Second side. Right knee and top of foot on the ground, right foot on the ground. We're going to stack our hips with our left hip on top, inside of our left foot on the ground, and we're going to extend our left arm up and over. Stack your shoulders and hips. Stay here, or bring that left leg up. Same thing, your right foot may shift a little bit back to naturally balance. That is okay. Stay here, or bend that top leg, grab the outside of your foot, and kick up and back. We love back bends, and we love balance. So this is a really, really good stretch. When you're ready, release. Come back to all fours. You're going to widen your knees. We're going to sink down into child's pose. Walk your hands over to the right. Walk your hands back to center, and then over to the left. Okay, walk your hands back. We're going to go into a squat. So, from here, you are going to tuck your toes under. First, we're going to stretch our toes, actually. And just sit back on your heels. Really feel that stretch in your toes. Your knees can still be apart, or they can be closer together. Honestly, whatever's comfortable for you. And bring your shoulders back and just feel that toe stretch. Stay here, or plant your hands and shift back towards the heels of your feet. If you were just right here, that is a-okay. I'm going to scoot forward just to make sure I'm in the frame. If you were right here, that is okay. But we want to get our heels towards the ground. Adjust however you need. This is the goal. But if you're right here for today, that's okay too. If you're able to get your heels on the ground or not, either way, we are going to fit our armpits towards our knees. Kind of squeeze our knees towards our armpit, and we are going to fold forward. It's a really good prep for crow. So if this feels good, you feel like you have good engagement, feel free to practice putting your elbows out and really resting our knees inside our armpit, and just practice gently shifting your weight forward and seeing how that feels. If that feels good, see if you can lift one foot. See if you can lift the up foot. We want to make sure that we're not putting our knees on our elbows. We want to make sure that we have enough depth to really engage our knees into our armpits. So if you need to continue working these to prep, please keep practicing. But if you feel like you've got it, plant your hands and shift up into crow. We want to engage our core here. The goal is not to lift our butt up, but to bring our feet towards our butt. And gently release. Good job. So from here, we're going to go up into a standing forward fold. So stand up, but keep your arms lowered and sway your hips back and forth. Your feet should still be about a hip width distance. And if you're able to grab your big toe with your first two fingers, keep a little bit of bend in your legs to make sure that you have a good body connection with the top of your thighs. And then extend your legs to the point of where you're still maintaining that connection. So if that looks like this, that is okay. If you're able to pull straighter and still maintain that connection, go for it. And just sway your hips back and forth. On your next inhale, we're going to straighten our legs and look up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, extend, look up. Exhale, fold. On our next inhale, we are going to bring our arms up. Bring your hands to prayer. I know we're doing things a little bit backwards, getting close to the end of our practice with some sun salutations. But I want you to walk up to the front of your mat, feet together or hip width, whatever's more comfortable for you. We're just going to do some 3 sun salutations. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. So same thing, if you need a little bit of bend in your knees for that balance in this forward fold, go for it. Inhale, extend, look up. Exhale, plant your hands and hop or step back into a half plank. We're going to shift over our toes into an upward dog. Up dog, our thighs and knees are off the floor, arms are straight. If you opt for cobra, there's more bend in your arms and your thighs are still on the floor, but your hips are a little bit off. So up dog or cobra. Then we're going to tuck our toes, push up and back into down dog. Feel free to walk the dog. Go up on your tiptoes. Woo! Nice little toe crack. And same thing, we're going to bend our legs a little bit, get that connection of our body on the top of our thighs. Maintain this depth in your shoulders as you straighten your legs to work your heels towards the floor. When you're ready, hop or step forward. Extend. Inhale, arms up. 2 more times. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extend. Plant your hands, hop or step back to a half plank. Chaturanga. Into up dog or cobra. Tuck your toes, up back into down dog. Hop or step forward. Last one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extend. Plant your hands, hop or step back to a half plank. Chaturanga. Up back into down dog. Now from here, we are going to go with the pace of our breath and go from down dog to hovering our knees. So almost tabletop, but with your knees not touching the ground. So down dog, hover your knees. Down dog, hover your knees. Two more. Okay, next time release onto your knees. And we are going to lift up. Tops of your feet on the floor. Stay here, or if it feels comfortable, maybe reach one hand back to your ankle. Maybe lift the other hand back to your other ankle and push your hips forward and tilt your head back for camel. And release. Good job. We're going to plant our hands, come back into a squat, and go into a forward fold. Inhale, arms up, and release. If you need to go near a wall for tree, feel free. But what we're going to do is we're going to start on our left foot. So first imagine some roots coming from your body into the ground from your left foot. Now you can just stand up on your right toes like this, and that is an excellent place to start. If you feel like your foot's comfortable in your calf, amazing. We just don't want to rest our foot on our knee. So ideally, you want your foot inside your thigh. Well, my roots are not very stable yet. That is okay. Trees wobble. But when you feel connected, push that right knee out. Hands into prayer. Raise your hands up. And if this feels good, clasp your hands into prayer at your back. Pull your shoulders back. And breathe. When you're ready, release your hands. And release your foot. We're going to switch sides. So now the roots are coming down from our right foot. And you can just be on your left toes and stay here if that feels comfortable. Or on your calf, not the knee. And when you feel stable, it helps to look at a spot on the floor and focus on that. Bring your left foot up to whatever part's comfortable other than the knee. Bring that left knee to the side. Hands of prayer. Hands up. And if that feels comfortable, hands of prayer behind our back. And bring those shoulders back and look up. And breathe. You're almost done. You're doing great. When you're ready, release your hands. Release your feet. We are going to go into a wide forward fold. So if your feet go to about your hand distance apart, that is great. Shorter, wider, whatever feels comfortable. Feet facing forward, we're going to put our hands on our hips and we are going to hinge at the waist and fold forward. Oh, feel a nice little crack there. So hands on the floor. We're just going to push our sit bones back. And we're going to walk our hands over to the right. And breathe. Walk your hands over to the left. And breathe. If you're able to grab your big toes and kind of pull your arms down, go for it. If your head reaches the ground, amazing. Go to whatever feels comfortable. From here, we're going to rise up at the waist, and we are going to shift our feet towards the left. If a high lunge is more comfortable with your left foot perpendicular to the ground and up on your right toes, great. If a warrior stance feels more comfortable, whatever feels right for you. What we're going to do is some breathing. So we're going to square our hips towards the front in whatever foot position you choose. I'm going to go with a high lunge for today. Make sure that you can see your left toe. We don't want our knee too extended or too far back. We want it to be at a nice T shape with the ground. So we're going to bring our hands into cactus. On our inhale, we're going to push back, and on our exhale, we're going to whoosh out all that activation and throw our hands forward. Now inhale, arms back into your chest and your stomach. Exhale, whoosh, all that energy. Inhale back, exhale, whoosh. Okay. Straighten that leg, and we're going to shift sides. So if you did high lunge, do high lunge on this side. If you did warrior feet, warrior on this side. Either way, same thing. You want to be able to see your big toe. Your calf should be up and down, and your hips and shoulders squared forward. Hands up into cactus. Inhale back. Exhale, whoosh, forward. All that activation out of your body. Inhale back, exhale, whoosh. Inhale back, exhale all that activation out. One more inhale, whoosh. Okay, come back up. Feet facing forward. We're going to step up to the top of our mat. Your shoulders back, roll them if you need to. step our right foot out to the side. We're going to bring our left hand up. Going to grab our left wrist with our right hand. Move our hips to the left. Standing crescent. Make sure that your shoulders aren't falling far too back or forwards. I'm going to keep them stacked. Top shoulder back. Exhale, hips to the left, arms to the right. Inhale back to center and switch sides. Left foot out to the side, grab your right wrist with your left hand. Hips out to the right side and pull your right arm to the left. Pull that top shoulder back. Your next exhale, go a little deeper. Inhale back up. You guys are doing amazing. We're going to make our way down to our backs. We are going to bend your legs, bring your heels towards your butt, hip distance apart. Reach your hands to your heels if that helps. And we are going to lift our pelvis up. Walk your shoulders in if that feels good. Stay here or clasp your hands underneath. Lift your hips up further. Make sure that your knees aren't going out to the side or in the middle. Keep pushing up. Walk your shoulders in if you can. A little bit higher. And release. We are going to bring our knees up towards our body. Bring our feet up towards the sky. Happy baby. I'm going to reach inside your knees to the outsides of your feet. Bring your knees towards the ground and gently rock back and forth. It's the best kind of bilateral movement and it feels so good on your back. This is my favorite yoga pose. Happy baby. Okay, when you're ready, release. We're going to keep our right knee bent with our foot close to our buttocks and straighten our left leg. We're going to shift our hips over to the right. Put your left hand on the outside of your right knee. Keep that right foot hooked around your left knee. And bring your knee towards the ground on your left. You want to work your right shoulder towards the floor and your right knee towards the floor on the left, but if they don't connect, that's okay. Straighten your right arm to the side and look out to the right. And breathe. And release. I'm going to switch sides. So shift your hips over to the left, bend that left knee, straighten your right leg, right hand on the outside of your left knee. Keep that left foot hooked around your right knee and bring that knee towards the ground on your right. Straighten your left arm, look out to the left, work your left shoulder and your right knee towards the ground for a good twist. And breathe. Release, come back to center. We're going to get ready for Shavasana. My very first yoga instructor told me if you only have time for one yoga pose during the day, that Shavasana is the most important one. So you're going to straighten your legs. You're going to tuck your shoulders a little bit underneath you. Palms face up on the ground or whatever feels comfortable. And you're going to breathe into your belly. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And for the Shavasana, I want you to remember what your resilient belief was. What intention you wanted to set for today was. See what came up for you in this practice. See if there's been any movement. clear your head of other things that come up and just breathe into that resilient belief. Keep your eyes closed. Feel where your body's connected to the ground, laying down. Breathe into any activation into your body and see if you can release it on your exhale. Start wiggling your fingers and toes to bring the activation back into your body. And be deep in that breath. When you're ready, lift your right arm above your head. Roll onto your right side. Maybe bend your knees. And slowly make your way into a comfortable seated position. Be proud of yourself for the work that you've done, the reflections that you processed and shared. Maybe look at your chart, see if there's been any more movement, see if that activation level's decreased more, and if we've increased our resilient belief. I love the parallels between the therapeutic interventions that I utilize in yoga, where there's so much bilateral movement and breathing, we're having intense exercise, we're doing all those tip skills and a lot of EMDR components with yoga. We really complement each other beautifully. And thank you so much for showing up today and being a part of this practice. I hope that you take this intention that you came up with and carry this into your day. If you are feeling activated again, you can use any kind of bilateral stimulation to self-soothe, even if you're just clasping your hands and doing this. Even if you're just tapping your knees. And remember, just like with our resilient belief, it can not only be used to regulate, but it can be used to tap in the good stuff too. So if you find yourself feeling really proud of yourself or really excited about something today, feel free to tap that in. So if y'all join me in tapping in, crossing your hands to your shoulders or tapping your knees, I want you to take a deep breath in and tap in that sense of pride that you showed up, you watched this whole video, you participated, or just enjoyed, even just reflected. And tap in that feeling of confidence, of pride, of self-love, whatever came up. And Release your hands. Bring your hands to prayer. Thank you again for being a part of this practice with me. Namaste.